David Ferrier, empowering people to exceed their expectations. From humble beginnings as a jackaroo in the Northern Territory to Managing Director of Resultzcorp, David Ferrier's journey is inspirational. In his 20s, David broke all sales records in the home improvement and advertising industries. He proved himself to be a high achiever in both direct and corporate sales. Since 1999, he has developed and delivered his own sales conference and launched a professional speaking career. He has trained thousands of people and hundreds of companies all over Australia. And today, as Managing Director of Resultzcorp, David delivers dynamic and practical talks that will inspire his audience to implement his material to achieve and exceed their goals.
Hills rise and sink, and stars have their beginnings and they have their ends. It's impossible for you to stay the same at the way you communicate. You are either going to progress or regress from where you're at the moment. It is much better for you to be an author in your fate rather than a passive participator in it.
David has shared his specialised expertise with wide and varied industry groups. And his website features hundreds of testimonials of the positive impact his training has generated. His talks have been featured at business functions, networking events, national conferences and sales training seminars where he has empowered people with the skills to guarantee success.
A gesture in isolation doesn't mean much, but when you put a gesture with another gesture and another gesture, you form what's called a non-verbal sentence.
David's sought-after presentations are delivered on essential business topics, including sales psychology, networking success, reading body language, behavioural change, and the subconscious mind.
But that's okay, I just look straight back at them. Resultzcorp is the best. I am a powerful, positive person.
And he is happy to listen to your objectives and tailor a talk that will exceed your expectations. And the results speak for themselves.
Apart from the fact that David looks so like Drew Carey, and I had to get over that at the start, he's very energised, he's motivating, he really makes me want to get back out there and do what I do and do well. The whole thing was just wow. So thank you, David.
In all honesty, it has changed my life.
One of the best courses or best seminars that I've ever been to. So it's not only business that I'm going to achieve more things out of, but my personal life is going to be fantastic.
This is a man who believes in what he's teaching. He is instinctive in his reaction to his audience. All in all, I thought it was a very impressive performance from a man who really knows what he's talking about.
But change is a constant. We know that hills rise and sink. We refer to the eternal stars, but they're in flux. They have their beginnings and they have their ends. Change has been an integral part of human culture from the beginning of time, hasn't it, Andrew? It has. You know that you are going to progress or regress from where you're at the moment. You're not going to stay the same. The question is, do you want to manage this change? Do you want to become an author in your fate or a passive participator in it? Do you want to be blown in the direction of the prevailing winds? Because when you wing it and you come to a networking event, that's what you're doing. You're being blown in the direction of the prevailing winds. It's important to control our success, to progress rather than regress. And even if you progress a little bit over a period of time, that can be quite a huge amount. You know, the scary thing is that there is resistance towards new learnings. The most unsuccessful people that I've ever met have heard it all before. When you say that you've heard it all before, it means that you are happy in your comfort zone and you do not want to get out of it. And it's scary because it stops you from becoming happy. It stops you from progressing. It stops you from being more successful than you are. It stops you from building happier relationships, not only with yourself, because you listen to yourself more than anyone else, but also with others. We've got to be careful of that. I've heard it before. Number two is that won't work for me. If you say, oh, that won't work for me, then you don't even have to take a slice out to see if it does, just to check it out, to try it out. The third and final thing is body language. Behavioural scientists have recognised that we take on 37% less information when we fold our arms. 37% less information when you fold your arms. Some people say that they're comfortable when they fold their arms. That's okay, but the perception that you're giving out to the person that you're talking to is not okay. So behavioural progression, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. 1, I've heard it before. 2, that won't work for me. And 3, body language. So as soon as you say that, and even if you're very successful and you say, I've heard it all before, you've just plateaued. And where do you think you're going from there? There's only one way to go from there, and that's down. Most successful people that I've met actively participate in personal development. So clinical psychology. Clinical psychology. I talk about listening skills. What is listening skills? They say, listening skills are so important. Listen, 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 listen. What the hell is it? Well, a listening skills is, from a clinical point of view, attending, following skills and reflective responses. So, but importantly, when you have open body language, when you look like a listener, people will feel more comfortable to talk to you. They will. They'll feel more open to talk to you. They will. And subconsciously, you will take on board more information as well. What are following skills? Well, following skills is having the ability to follow someone in conversation, yet stand out of their way. Getting the conductor stick, if you like, and putting it in their hand and saying, you're controlling your conversation. Here is the conducting stick. What are following skills? Well, there's things like minimal encourages. You're looking like a listener. But if you stand like this and look like a stunned mullet, you're going to look like an idiot. So it's important to participate in the conversation with the nodding of the head, like this. Or things like, you just laughed. That gave me an indication that you were listening, and that is a minimal encourage. Things like, really, wow, gosh, gee, fantastic. Gives the other person an indication that you're listening. So following skills are very, very important as well. The ability to be able to follow someone in conversation. There's another following skill which is good fun, and that's repeating the last word of someone's sentence. So it's attending and following skills, but that's all well and good. Some people say, I'm a great listener. I'm a fantastic listener. I know how to listen. But, 2/3 of listening lies in the way that we respond. It's attending and it's following skills, which is all well and good, opening someone up. But when Andrew's talking about his trip down south to the wineries and he's going on about it, he doesn't want me to better his story, does he? He doesn't want me to say, that's nothing. When I went to the wineries, I did this. This is Richard Twaits. How are you, Richard? Thanks for coming. Wineries, and off he goes. So he doesn't want me to better his story, does he? He doesn't want to give him advice and say, oh, did you go to McLaren Vale? Oh, you didn't? Well, you should have gone to McLaren Vale. It's fantastic down there. I went to McLaren Vale and blah, 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 blah. He doesn't want to hear that. Is that indicating that I'm listening, ladies and gentlemen? Is it? It's not, is it? It's important at a networking event, when someone's finished talking about something, you can say, oh, wow, it sounds like you had a really great time when you went down south with the kids at the parents' place, Andrew, and the open fire and the river going past. It really sounds like you had a relax. And Andrew's going like this. He's going, yeah, it was. Or if he's talking about his business, I attend, I look like a listener, I follow in conversation, really, wow, gosh. And then after the conversation, I repeat back what he said. Why would I repeat back what he said? To show you were listening. It's a check on accuracy and also a courtesy to him to give him an indication that I have. What I want you to do is I want you to practice this.
Give David a call now. He's waiting to customise an inspirational talk for your company. What topic would suit you best?